So, yun po. Good afternoon.
Good
Ano po
afternoon.
yung pangalan at buong pangalan nyo at yung rango nyo, yung job nyo?
Alright, so my real name is John Paul Kiambao Ortega. Kiambao from my mother's side and Ortega from my family side. But I was nicknamed PJ.
PJ.
So a lot of my friends and close relatives call me PJ, but in the office they call me Man B. It stemmed from my phone name when I was still an agent. I was named Mandy Ortega, so that's the name that I use whenever I take calls when I was still an agent in the call center. Right now, I am currently working for Convergys Corporation, which is the biggest private employer here in the Philippines, as a compliance and operational audit manager.
Saan po kayo nakatira at lumaki?
So currently, I'm living in Carmona, Cavite. We moved here 4 years ago, but I was born in Cainta, Rizal. I grew up there up until when I was in college. After graduating college, I started working, and me and my mom was able to buy a house in Antipolo. So we moved there, and we lived there for 7 to 8 years before transferring to Carmona, Cavite.
So, saan po kayo nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral and ano yung course na tinapos?
So I graduated from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines with a bachelor's degree in industrial psychology.
And bakit po ito yung napiling profession?
So it's a very long story, but to make it short, since I graduated as a psychology student, I really wanted a profession within that field. So I tried applying for a psychometrician. Those are the people who administer psychological tests. And I also wanted to become someone who works for the HR department, recruitment specialist perhaps. But then during one of my interview, this one recruiter was willing to hire me, but asked me if I am willing to cut my hair and change my look if ever that they would hire me as a recruiter for that company. And I said no. I declined the offer and I said no, I will not cut my hair simply because I think I don't want to change who I am and what I am just to fit into the role that I am applying for. I believe that regardless as to how I look or my preference in life is, I would be able to get the job done and perform very well. So I decided not to go that route. So I decided to look for a job, an industry wherein they would accept me for who I am, my decisions, and what I want to be in life. That's the reason why I was able to enter the BPO or business process outsourcing world or industry, if you may.
May history. Ano po yung parang pinaka-work ng family niyo, yung kadalasang work ng family niyo?
Okay, so I will be very candid. My mom was the only person who raised us because my dad died on an early age. He died when he was 45. But before he died, he was a simple driver, a family driver or a company driver. We are not very well off back then. So we rely on my dad's salary. And then when he died, we were left with my mom. My mom has no work back then. So what she did is that she made use of her talent. So she studied cosmetology, she became a manicurista and masahista, and on the sideline she would make embutido, relleno, and ube, and she would sell that. So with my mom's ability and talent, nabuhay niya kami. Pero we started talaga not that very well off. It was a very, very difficult childhood, especially when I was in high school and college. It was very, very difficult for us because we were 3 kids, my older brother, me, and my younger brother, who is also now a sister, because I have a transgender sister as well. So it's just the 3 of us and my mother. So yung nanay ko talagang gumastos, nagtrabaho, nagsumikap para mapagtapos kami.
And may mga nakamit na po ba kayong awards sa pagiging
Transgender or
and
trans
sa
woman?
sa work?
Okay, so when I was in college, part of my income comes from joining beauty pageants. I started joining beauty pageants when I was first year college. And first time kong sumali, I won. So that's when I got the idea na, oh, pwede ko pala tong gawing negosyo or sideline kasi you earn thousands of pesos by just winning. So I've been joining beauty pageants ever since. And doon ako nagkakaroon ng extra income. And aside from that, some recognition. So I was 2000 Miss Gay University, and I was also Binibining Gay PUP, and Binibining Miss Gay University of PUP. So the Miss Gay University 2000 is the battle of different universities like UP, UST, FE, oh no, not UST, sorry, UE, FEU, different universities. They would have their contestant from different school. We will battle it out, and I was the winner for 2000. So I also got the Miss Gay University for PUP for the whole campus, and the Binibining Gay Binibining Gay PUP for the whole campus as well. In my professional career, it's totally different because from the glitz and glamour of the pageantry, this one, so professional life, this is where you really test yourself if you're capable to really prove if you have other talents aside from glitz and glamour. So when I started working, the first award that I got was top agent for the first month of working. So after training, I started calling. First month pa lang, I was the top agent right away. So I've been a consistent top agent for the last 6 months. And then after 6 months, I got promoted as an assistant team leader. So it just took me 6 months before I get a promotion. Upon regularization, I applied for a promotion and I got this. So that's one of my biggest achievement when I was starting in the call center industry, because not all agents would top the rank or be in the ranks in just the first day of calling, diba? Few months pa lang, I was competing with those tenured agents and those best in the industry. And one of the biggest achievement really is being promoted just after regularization, after 6 months. And then after 6 months, I became a trainer again. So it took me 1 year before I get promoted to becoming a trainer. I've been a trainer for 2 years. I've trained new hire agents in order for them to be equipped once they go to the production floor. And then after 2 years, there was an opening for a compliance and operational audit manager for collections for Convergence Philippines, and I applied for that and I got the position. I've been a compliance officer, a compliance manager for the last 8 years.
So, sa mga nakwento ko, ano sa tingin niyo yung edge niyo kung bakit parang nagiging qualified kayo agad, kumbaga tulad na nananalo kayo ng mga pageants sa pageantry, tapos yung sa PPO industry ko. Ano sa tingin niyo yung edge niyo kung bakit nag-rise up kayo?
Because I would say I'm passionate and hardworking. I think those are the two most important qualities that I have. I'm very passionate with everything that I do, and in any time that I like something or I want something, I passionately work hard for everything. I am a go-getter. And whenever I want something, I really, really work hard for it. So when I started working in the call center industry, I said, I don't want to be an agent for life. I want to get promoted. I want to see my name with a title, a manager, a president, you know. I want to have a title. So that's what I did. I worked hard to get a title.
So, kung susumahin po natin, ilang taon kayong nag-into pageant and ilang taon din kayong ngayon hanggang present sa BPO
So,
industry?
yeah, so I joined pageants when I was still a student.
Basically.
first year college up until graduating. And then as soon as I graduated college, I stopped joining pageants and I concentrated on getting a job and working. So again, unlike other trans women or transgenders that they've been joining pageants up until now, even though that they're 30s or 40s, ako talagang ginawa ko lang siyang sideline noon. A stepping stone or yun nga, sideline para meron extra income. But when I started working na professionally, I stopped joining pageants and I concentrated on my real work, if you will.
Pero yung ano po, while you're studying pa noon, parang, and you're joining pageant, hindi po ba naging hadlang siya sa pag-aaral mo? And your mom po ba, parang your family, hindi ganun po ba na pinagbawalan?
Well, at first, ayaw ng mom ko kasi of course, every fear of a parent who has a transgender son and daughter is that ayaw nila mabastos yung mga anak nila. So that's the initial fear of my mom when I started joining pageants. But then, when she realized that a lot of people are liking me, a lot of people are applauding me, and medyo maraming fans, nakita niya na hindi pala bastusin. And aside from that, of course, I'm earning money. So she became very supportive. But then, I would also candidly say that it really affected my studies. Because sometimes, magpapageant ako ng gabi, hindi ako magigising ng umaga, malilate ako, or minsan absent ako sa first and second subjects ko. And it really take a toll on my studies because my 4-year course became a 5-year course because marami akong okay. Parang marami ako ng mga mali.
Doon po sa
Okay
may 5-year course. Patuloy.
Alright, so my 4-year course before became a 5-year course. Kasi nga, mayroong mga SEM na hindi ako full load, may mga ako dinadrop na subjects because again, very busy ako sa mga pageants noon.
Paano po yung cycle ng money, yung napapanalunan nyo? Parang magkano po yung portion?
Okay, so it was back in 2001, 2002, up to 2004. So early 2000 when I started joining pageants. So back then, 5,000, 7,000 pesos a night is very, very big na. If you win the crown, but if you're a runner-up, 3,000, 2,000, 500, may mga pageants na walang budget, mananalo ka 700 pesos. But, so yun yung mga price range na napapanalunan. The biggest that I won back in 2001 to 2004 is 10,000 pesos a night. So malaki na yun during that time. Especially na wala naman akong trabaho at estudyante pa ako. And then my mom, nagtitinda lang at nagmamanicure lang. So it's a very big help for us. So whenever I win a pageant, I would give everything to my mom. But of course, I would also give a percentage to my manager. I would also give a percentage to mga alala, yung mga assistant, yung tumulong sa akin. But my earning would all go to my mom. And then that's when my mom would just give me allowance or baka may gusto kang bilhin. So yon. Pero everything talagang binibigay ko sa nanay ko.
Ano po yung ginagawa nyo bilang manager sa Convergence?
So again, I am a compliance and operational audit manager for Convergence Collections. So my main responsibility is to handle and manage compliance within the collection space of Convergence. We make sure that we provide oversight in making sure that all regulatory and contractual obligations for each program are met, making sure that we comply with all the regulatory requirements in the US when it comes to collections, and we make sure that we are meeting the contractual requirements that we have for each client. So there.
So, kahit po ba manager na kayo, compliance and audit manager, nag-undergo pa rin po ba kayo ng iba't ibang training?
Of course, that is definitely needed, especially in my work, wherein there are a lot of changes happening within the regulatory compliance in the U.S. like FDCPA. This is the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. a law that each collection agency must follow in the US in order for us not to be sued by the cardholders. There is now a TCPA, Telephone Consumer Protection Act, wherein we need to follow these guidelines as to how, when we can contact consumers via their cell phones. There are state laws that we need to adhere to. These are laws for each state in the United States. So we have 51 states. They have different laws that we need to follow. So continuous training on these regulatory requirements is very, very crucial, essential, and important in order for you to succeed in the role. Aside from that, I also go through other certifications as an auditor, like internal audit certification, regulatory certification like PCI, ISO, and SSA 16. So these are certifications that we need to go through almost every year.
Next topic diba?
Okay.
And kailan niyo po niya realize na gusto niyo maging part ng LGBT? I mean, parang nararamdaman niyo na
Okay.
ng LGBT?
And this is something that I know for a fact a lot, if not all, transgenders have felt when they were growing up. You know instantly when, even though that you're still a child, alam mo na sa sarili mo na you're different. You're not sure if you're gay, you're not sure if you're bi, you're not sure if you're transsexual, transgender, or what have you, but you know you're different. You know that you're not a straight man. And I felt that even when I was still a kid, because yeah, I love playing with my older brother, but I enjoy it more whenever I play with my girl cousins, if that makes sense. I enjoy playing G.I. Joe and toy soldiers with my brother, but I enjoy it more whenever I play Barbie with my other girl cousins. So, nung bata pa lang ako, alam ko na that I am different. I'm not sure kung ano ako, pero I know I'm different.
Would you mind if tanungin ka po namin?
Sure.
Are you operating?
Yes.
Anong taon po? Kailan?
Okay, that was 2006.
Is upper end and lower?
Yes.
And how was it in the beginning po?
Well, it's very difficult. It's very difficult because you know that everything will change. You know that it will be a different life. It was scary at first because you wouldn't know first what will be the result, and if the operation will be very successful. That's the first fear. The second fear is how you would face your new life, because it's like being reborn into a different body. Diba? I know for a fact that I'm a woman since birth. I know for a fact that by heart I am a woman. But this is the this is the reality that I was born in a different body. Now I am transitioning to that new body. So there is a big fear na anong mangyayari? Ano, matatanggap ba ako? O ako mismo, matatanggap ko ba yung bagong katawan ko?
Mukha naman po natanggap.
Very happy, contented.
Yung family niyo po ba, parang gano'n po sila nag-adjust, natanggap po ba nila yung kasarian niyo po? And lalong-lalo na ito yung parents, yung mama mo?
I have no problems with my dad because my dad died when I was very young, when I was 18. But my mom was very supportive. I couldn't ask for more. My mom was very supportive to all of us, even my older brother, to me, and even my younger sister. I'm older than my younger sister by 15 years. So medyo ako na yung nagpalaki sa kanya. And then we realized that she's following my footsteps. And it was very difficult for my mom at first because one, ako na yung nauna, tapos eto na naman, may susunod. But then my mom was really, really accepting. So it wasn't difficult for my mom to accept that her children, me and my younger sister, is like that. My mom is someone who understands all of our decisions in life. My mom is very understanding whenever we decide to Like for me, undergo the operation. Just recently, my sister went home because they live in the United States right now. My sister went home last April and May. She had her nose done. She had different plastic surgeries done, and my mom was very supportive. So that's one thing that we are blessed with, and that is a very supportive and understanding mom.
Um, ano po yung sa tingin yung pinakamalaking kinaharap nyo na problema, o parang hindrance po na para matupad nyo yung...
Okay, money, of course, money. That's the always problem whenever you want to transition physically. Emotionally, mentally, that's very easy because you just need to live like a real woman. You need to think like a real woman. But the most difficult part is if you want to transition physically into becoming a real woman because it entails a lot of money. It requires you to have a lot of money. So back then, nung wala pa akong trabaho, nung naghihikahus pa kami, nung wala pa kaming stable job, yun talaga. I thought it was very difficult to achieve my dreams. But when I started working and earning, that's when you make ipon and that's when you get to realize na pwede palang ma-achieve yung ultimate dream mo.
Paano nyo po kinaharap yun, yung mga discouragement sa'yo noon before? Paano nyo siya nalagpasan sa tingin nyo? Paano nyo...
That is a good question. So I was talking about money and the operation, but that's very superficial na yung transition physically. But being a gay, a lesbian, or a transgender, or trans woman in this society, especially when I lived most of my life in the 90s and early 2000s, those were my teenage years. It's very, very difficult growing up as a gay boy or a transgender. Why? Because during that time, talagang maraming discrimination. There are a lot of people who would tease you, intimidate you for being malamya or for being malambot. And that's one of the biggest fear that I have when I was growing up. I don't want to be bullied. I don't want to be teased by everyone. So what I did is that I created this strong facade na parang tough. I'm a tough person. Even though that I was small when I was in high school and in college, napakaliit ko. I was like 5'1", 5'2". Pero I created that strong facade showing everybody that I'm a tough person, I'm a strong person, and I can fight you all the time. Maybe that's how I adapted. Because I have that big fear of being bullied and being teased. So, I pretended na strong ako, na, huwag niyo akong aawayin kasi kaya ko kayong labanan. So, I know it's a very difficult childhood because you need to pretend to be very, very tough. And it's not easy to be being tough every day. But that's how I dealt with it. That's how I coped with that reality back in the days na talagang ang bading, ang bakla, ang malambot, talagang inaasar at tinutokso.
So, yun po. Alam naman natin na parang we're living in a country na yun nga, sabi mo po, tinutokso yung mga malamya. Tapos ngayon po sa parang taon na to na dumarating na yung mga panahon, ano po yung pakiramdam nyo na nire-respeto at kinikilala na yung mga tulad po ninyo sa society natin, lalo pat may protection?
Correct. I'm very happy as to where we are right now. I know that the LGBTQ community has a lot more to do and a long way to go when it comes to reaching our goal in acceptance and visibility, but we have gone a long way. Back in the early 70s, 80s, or even older than that, talagang pinagtatawanan, joking, laughing stuff ang pagiging gay, di ba? There has been a lot of Okay. So there has been a lot of groups, LGBT groups, that were created to really push for visibility. Not only that, for acceptance and pushing for the rights of the community. And we have gone a long way. We have people from the community in show business who are very well known. There are a lot of people in the private sector like me. There are a lot of people from the LGBTQ community in public service, like Geraldine Roman. So as you can see, we have gone a long way in terms of being visible and more importantly, showing the community and the rest of the world that regardless of our sexual preference, regardless of our gender identity, we can prove ourselves. We are capable in leading and being productive. We are very much talented. We just need to, sorry, nawala ako. Pakita. Kasi nagbibilo ka kasi nababasa ko yung labi ko. Nasaan na ako?
Okay.
One,
Pa-edit na lang yun.
2, 3, go.
So we really capable in advancing ourselves in handling different positions. May it be in private sector, may it be in public service, may it be in fashion, arts, or entertainment.
So, sa tingin niyo po, ano yung bilang isang trans? Ano po sa tingin niyo yung nagagawa niyo ngayon? O yung isa sa pinakamalaking yung ambag bilang trans para mas mapalakas yung parang sigaw ng mga LGBT para mas matanggap sila sa lipunan?
That is a very, very good question. I don't have that big voice. Unlike the leaders in LGBT, unlike Geraldine Roman, unlike Vice Ganda, they have a big voice. But for me personally, the way that I can contribute to the community is being an inspiration. I think that's my biggest contribution to the community, to inspire other transgenders, other LGBTQ members, especially the young ones, especially the students, especially those who are still trying to think as to what kind of role they want to have in life, as to what kind of path they want to take in life. I want to be that inspiration, that if you decide that you want to be a private employee, that if you want to be successful in the corporate world, your gender or your sexual preference has nothing to do in terms of you being successful in that field. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with your success. Your success requires your hard work and determination, not your gender preference. So that's the kind of inspiration that I want to be. Na do not be afraid to go to the business world or the private sector world or the professional industry. Regardless if you're a gay, transgender, or lesbian, as long as you're hardworking, you're talented, and you're willing to learn and grow, you will become successful.
Kung sa tingin niyo po na before, kung hindi kayo nag-come out as ito ngayon, ano po sa tingin niyo? I mean, asan po siguro kayo ngayon? Ano po yung trabaho niyo?
Okay.
Kung hindi compliance and audit manager?
Okay. So if I didn't come out as a gay to my mom, I think that will be very possible because I know for a fact that I will come out. No, but if I didn't venture into the business world or being a private employee, I think I an entertainer. Because I remember when I was in college, that's when a lot of my gay friends would want to go to Japan as an entertainer, yung Japayuki. So, during that time, talagang maraming mga bading na talagang gustong pumunta sa Japan at nakakapunta sila. Marami from my batch na nag-Japan. And I also wanted to go to Japan as an entertainer to earn money. But my mom decided and talked to me na, you know what, you're too young for that. Try to graduate first. And upon graduation, that's when you decide whether you want to go to Japan or work here in the Philippines or whatever you want to do. Basta try to graduate first. Because I was asking my mom, I want to stop, I want to go to Japan, I want to work right away. But my mom stopped me and asked me, graduate ka muna. Pagka-graduate mo, tsaka mo gawin lahat ng gusto mo. But then, after graduation, as opposed to going to Japan, which is my original plan, mas ginusto kong manatili and to go on a professional route, if you will, and that is in the corporate setting.
So, sa tingin niyo po, nakaka-apekto po ba yung pagiging gay niyo, pagiging trans niyo sa profession niyo? Kumbaga, paano niyo po na-apektuhan yung trabaho niyo?
Okay.
Or bad po ba?
Okay. We're talking about discrimination in the workplace, and that is something that I honestly was very, very fortunate of not experiencing. It's very good that I was able to apply and work for a company who has great values. One of the core values of Converges is doing the right thing. And part of that doing the right thing is respecting individuals or respecting individuality. During my 11-year stay for Converges, I've been working for Converges for 11 years, I haven't experienced any type of discrimination or intimidation from anyone because we have a core value of respecting for individuals. Respect for individuals regardless of age, color, nationality or race, and even gender preference or sexual orientation. So here in Converges or here in my work, I can honestly say that being a transgender is not a hindrance. I have never experienced being judged, discriminated, and intimidated or harassed by anyone because of my gender preference. So I'm very lucky. So I guess that's how transgender should. That's one thing that a transgender should look for in a job or in a company. The values that that company has, because if they have a great value or great values, I'm sorry, you know for a fact that you're in a safe working environment.
Wala po bang special treatment pag yung mga trans po sa work? Kumbaga, what makes it different po?
It's very nice to think that there should be or there would be special treatments, right? Pero there's none. Pero I know for a fact that for other establishments, other work settings, imbis na special treatment, discrimination pa nga ang nararamdaman eh, pambabastos pa nga ang nararamdaman eh. Hindi very obvious, pero you know for a fact that pag may isang gay na pumasok sa CR, for example, hindi man sila ipahiya, pero yung mga tingin na nakakapahiya, yun pa lang, mararamdaman mo na that you're not being treated fairly, di ba? So, hindi ang discrimination, ang pamamahiya at ang intimidation, hindi lang siya yung sa salita, hindi lang siya yung sa obvious words and actions. Sometimes the most subtle actions could make us feel that we're being harassed and intimidated and discriminated.
Yes, since we're talking about discrimination, kasi po, we will be talking with rin po, Miss Congresswoman Geraldine. Nag-aantay lang po kami ng reply kasi out of the country daw po siya.
Sana makuha niya.
Yan din po.
She's a very
If
nice.
you will be given a chance po na magpasa ng isang batas, since kahit halimbawa po, may chance nga po kung meron. Ano po yung sa tingin nyo gusto nyong ilaban na batas para sa mga LGBT na?
Okay. I think the zero discrimination when it comes to getting jobs, regardless of what kind of job that is, because I know for a fact that merong hesitations if a gay or a trans woman or an LGBT member wants to enter PNP or pagiging sundalo or army. I know we have overcome the barriers when it comes to entertainment, politics, corporate setting, pero meron pa rin mga ibang trabaho at profession na sometimes sa tingin ng mga ibang tao or karamihan ng Pilipino is off limits when it comes to the LGBTQ community. Yun na nga, PNP, being a security guard, being in the army, armed forces, navy. Again, gusto kong mawala yung discrimination na yun. That if you're an LGBTQ member and you have the capability and the ability, regardless kung anong trabaho yan, dapat tanggapin. 'Di ba? Kasi maraming nag-iisip na, baka by being lalamya-lamya, hindi tayo maipagtanggol niyan. But no. A lot of the LGBTQ members are very, very strong. And I think they're fully equipped in servicing the community through being a security guard, a police woman or man, or someone in the army.
So, may nilook forward pa po ba kayo bilang isang compliance and audit manager?
Of course, as a person, you always look forward for bigger and greater things in life. You don't get to be contented as to where you are, right? And that's the insatiable thirst of a normal person. Getting more things done, achieving more things, and being able to experience greater things. Professionally, I want to be promoted. I'm aiming for that higher position. Socially, I also want to continuously become an inspiration and broaden my horizon as to how I get to reach a lot of young transgender people and how I can guide them, inspire them. One of the biggest achievement that I have when it comes to inspiring is being interviewed by UNAIDS Asia Pacific. A day in the life of professional transgender, that's the name of the article. I think things like that in the future is one way of me helping reaching out to other younger transgender women. And also, I want to be an inspiration to my younger sister who is also a transgender. So those are the three things that I want to achieve in life. Advancement in my career, being socially relevant and helpful within the LGBT community, and being an inspiration to my younger sister.
May sarili na po ba kayong pamilya? Kung wala pa po, bilang isang LGBTQ member, gusto niyo po bang magkaroon ng sariling pamilya as in son, daughters, and husband?
Yes. I am single right now, and I've been single for the longest time. And I will be very honest that it's been very, very difficult for the likes of us to get a very serious relationship. Some are very serious because I have friends who are in a relationship for 10, 15 years already. They are very lucky. For me, I don't think that I am because I've been to numerous relationships. None of them were successful. But yes, I'm still looking and praying and hoping that there would be someone for me. But if none, that's perfectly fine. Maybe that's God's will. But I'm planning to adopt. So this is a discussion that I have with my mom just this year, that I'm planning to adopt a child because that's what my okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So that's where my sorry, cut mo muna.
Yung dun mo sa I'm planning to adopt.
Okay. Nawala ako. Wait lang.
Sige na po.
Di na yan.
Okay po.
Alright.
1, 2, 3.
So I'm planning to adopt. I actually talked to my mom about it just this year. And that's where I want to be. I want to take care of someone. I want to have a baby of my own, even not from me, but someone who I can nurture and care for, and someone who I can really take care of. And that's something that I'm praying for. I'm not rushing into things. I'm not eagerly looking for a child to adopt. I'm praying that if it is God's will, ibibigay niya sa akin. So I'm not eagerly seeking, but that's a plan.
ano po yung masasabi niyo dun sa parang bansag po sa inyo na parang marupok daw po yung mga tulad niyo, sa parang yung iba pong lalaki parang take for granted po yung pagiging parang yung mga mani niyo po, parang
Which is very, very true. Marupok talaga ang gay and trans women because bata pa lang kami, we want to be accepted. Diba? We want to feel accepted. We want to feel being cherished and being loved. And there are instances that we will go out of our way just to feel that love and acceptance. When I say go out of our way, we would spend much for the person that we love just to feel that love being shared to us or given back to us. Diba? So, yes, marupok kami because simula pa lang, we want to be accepted, we want to be loved, and we will do everything for the person that we love. And that is one good trait of being a gay and a transgender, that we are not selfish. We provide and give unselfish love. We can spend a lot of money, we can spend a lot of effort, more importantly, the effort for a person that we love without asking for return. Just for us to be accepted and treated nicely, we will really go out of our way. So that is a true statement. Marupok talaga ang mga kagaya namin. That's the reason why a lot of us gets hurt. Ultimately, whenever we are in a relationship, a lot of us would end up very, very disappointed if we feel that the love is not reciprocated because naging all out kami, unselfish. So napakasakit. But that's the price that we have to pay, really.
ano po yung nararamdaman niyo tuwing parang dinidiscriminate kayo mga tulad niyo, like yung mga nababantaan ko na pinapatay yung mga ano, yung parang si Jennifer Laude at
Yes.
before. Ano po yung for you, ano po yung
We call this as hate crimes, right? Hate crimes because apparently they are being killed for being gay or a trans woman. And it's really appalling. It's very, very sad because we are putting, in our type of lifestyle, we are putting ourselves in danger. Diba? Why? Because I believe there are 2 or 3 incidents wherein a transgender was killed because of their lifestyle. Why? Kasi ang trabaho nila, they are hookers. And I would say this candidly and blatantly, na hookers sila, nagpapabayad sila for sexual pleasure. So, they are the ones putting themselves in danger. We cannot blame them because that's the life that they have. They have no other choice. That's the only work that they have. That's the reason why it's very sad. As opposed to these people who are very talented, going to other fields, going great and good jobs, they have no choice but to settle for sexual, ano ba to? Yung sex working or sex workers, yan. So they would settle to become a sex worker as opposed to working in an office because that's the only thing that they have. That's the only thing that the society is giving them. So it's very, very sad.
Ano po yung masasabi niyo sa mga nagsasabi na parang kasalanan po yung pagiging bading?
Gone are the days na that we should think that way because that is a very makalumang thinking. Diba? Sa Bible, kung pagbabasihan natin yung Bible, yun talaga sasabihin ng mga tao, ay masama yan, kasalanan yan. But, again, sino bang hindi makasalanan? There are a lot of straight men and a lot of straight women who have committed a lot of sin more than us. Again, regardless of as to your sexual gender or sexuality, gender preference, the most important thing here is what do you do as a person? Even though that I'm a trans woman, if I'm not committing other mistakes and other sins and I'm living my life in accordance to my faith and my belief, and making sure that I'm not stepping on someone else's foot and hurting other people and not cheating and stealing from other people, I think I'm in a better position other than those straight men and women who are committing a lot of sin and crime. Diba? So they can always think that way, but again, it's always between you and your God. It's always between you and your faith. As long as you know you're doing good, and I think you're in the right place.
Bilang isang LGBT member po and compliance audit manager, ano po sa tingin niyo yung pinakamalaking ambag niyo sa industry?
Okay. I think I've answered this a while ago, and again, I am not a big name. I am not a well-known celebrity. I am not in any government position, and I can only do so much, diba? For the LGBT community, I think one of the biggest contribution that I can give is really to inspire other people, to share my story. And I think my story, even though it's a small story, is a success story. That from being a poor college student, trying to live daily through the help of my mom and beauty contest money, I was able to graduate and become successful in the corporate world and become a manager and earn a lot. And that's one thing that I want to share. That's the story that I want to share. Because of my hard work, my passion, I became successful. That's the reason why I have a lot of younger gay friends who I call anak-anakans, that I always try to encourage them to study hard. And if they already have graduated, try to look for a good job, a stable job. So in that way, I think I can contribute to the LGBT community, simply inspiring this young generation of LGBT. Okay.
Mensahe niyo po sa mga kapwa niyong LGBTQ member na gusto ring kahakin yung BPO and anumang profession.
Okay, regardless of the profession, I guess, regardless if you want to be an entertainer, an artist, a politician, or someone in the private industry, we always strive to be accepted. We have been crying for acceptance and visibility and respect. That's very, very important. So one thing that I want the LGBTQ community to think about is that we've been asking for respect, but respect is something that you don't ask for. It is something that you earn. And it's very important that you start respect within yourselves. You respect yourselves in order for you to be respected by others. You try to act decently in public. You need to dress decently in public in order for you not to be humiliated and discriminated. You act accordingly when in front of other people so that you gain that respect. Again, respect is something that starts from within. It should start from you. And if you do that, if you respect yourself in the way you act, the way you think, the way you treat other people will respect you back. So that's one thing that I want each LGBTQ to remember, most especially the young ones, because I don't want them to be feeling entitled na, so we have the LGBT community, we have the congresswoman who can back us up, who can help us pag na-discriminate tayo. No, do not feel entitled, because here in this community, if you want to gain that respect, if you want to feel that respect, it should start within you.
Last na po talaga.
Okay.
Yung, ano po yung anong payo nyo o yung parang mensahe nyo dun sa mga nahihirapang mag-come out, ipakilala yung sarili nila sa mundo.
Okay.
Since you have ano naman.
Okay. So, hindi mo kailangan ipakilala ang sarili mo sa mundo at hindi mo kailangang piliting tanggapin ka ng mundo. The only thing that you need to do is to accept yourself. Accept who you are, embrace who you are, and everything will fall into place. Do not be afraid as to who you are. Do not be afraid to tell your mom, your father, your brother, your sisters, your lolas, your lolos that you are gay, you are trans woman. Because acceptance should start from within yourself. If you learn to accept yourself and you learn to embrace yourself, it will be very easy to tell everyone who you are.
And cut.
Okay.
Okay.
Galing.
Galing. Thank you po.